Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and today's video is about how to remove a tree stump naturally. I'm going to try to cover this as quickly as possible and actually go through the process on this stump right here. So for any tree stump you want to remove without equipment, like what you see behind me, first step is cut it off as low as you can. So if you've got a good chainsaw, buzz it however close to the ground you can. Obviously, hitting your chain on the ground dulls the chain really quick, so be smart about it. But the second thing you want to do is drill holes all around the stump. And what that does is increase the surface area, because all of these methods are ways to make the stump rot faster. And for that rot to happen, you need more surface area to be contacted. So the first thing you can do after you cut it off is just pile dirt on it. It will rot faster if it's buried, but it won't rot nearly as fast as you might think it will. And after it rots, or as it rots, it's going to make a sinkhole in that spot. So that's the least effort you can put in and accelerate the stump rotting. Everything else, actually including burying it, for any of these methods, you want to drill a bunch of holes in it after you cut it off low. The more holes, the better. The bigger the holes, the better. If you could drill, 1-inch holes, 2 foot deep, all the way around it, that would really accelerate it. So the next thing you can do is add something that increases the speed of decay more than just dirt. So one example would be like a manure or anything that's a high nitrogen fertilizer. Because your stump is carbon, you want to add nitrogen to it. So you can use any kind of a store-bought fertilizer. They actually sell chemicals you can buy that are designed to rot a stump. But I've read that using Miracle-Gro works almost as well as anything else you can buy. The lowest cost option to add nitrogen is to come out here and pee on it every day. Seems kind of silly, right? But it actually works. That's not what we're going to do. So I think the best way to really accelerate it and make this rot faster is with salt. You can use a couple different kinds of salt, but table salt does not work. Your best options are Epsom salt or rock salt. And I don't have Epsom salt on hand, but I do have rock salt on hand. So that's what we're going to use. So the last thing I want to say before we actually start working on this is that I've got at least 30 videos on removing stumps. I've dug them out with all different types of machines, from a Mini X to a tractor to a skid loader. I've ground them out with multiple different types of grinders. I've burned them out. And there's a purpose for each of those methods, and a better and a worse. But this video is going to be used as part of a bigger video to compare what I'm doing here to digging one out that's the same size right over there. So we're going to give this time to work, and then we're going to dig that stump over there out. Now, I've already ground this below ground level. I did what I told you guys we should do, which is cut it down as low as possible. Then I brought my stump grinder in here, and I tried to grind it out, but I could not get it low enough. I'm concerned about having a ground engaging tractor implement snag this. So I want to get it down lower, and I don't want to dig it out at this point, and I don't want to burn it out. So that's why I'm doing this stump today. So let me grab the drill and get started. It would be a lot better to use a bigger drill with a longer bit, but what if you don't have that and you don't want to go buy it? I thought I had a really long 1-inch bit, and I can't find it. So we're going to drill a bunch of 1/2-inch holes. If you're wondering about this tree and this stump, I cut this tree down about 18 months ago, but I left it 2 foot tall. So this thing was as hard as a rock, not rotted at all at the part we're working on. So I'm not drilling very deep, but my stump's ground lower than yours probably is when you're starting, so it should be a fair comparison to how you would be doing it. So for this one, I'm just using what I already have. I've spent no money and almost no time. I think I'm gonna spend a total of 15 minutes drilling some holes and spreading this salt. I found two separate sets of instructions, whether you're using Epsom salt or rock salt. With the Epsom salt, the consensus seems to be that you want to put the salt on top, wet it down, and then cover it with a tarp. I didn't like that as well, messing with the tarp. Some people with the Epsom salt did say put mulch or something over it, but with the rock salt, it mostly said cover it, wet it down, put the salt in the holes, wet it down, cover it with dirt or fertilizer. So we're going to use that method. Probably didn't need anywhere near this amount of salt, but I don't like having a half bag. What am I going to do with a half bag? Besides, it's just going to draw moisture. The next thing in the instructions says to wet this down, but that dirt is sopping wet. It rained last night. It's actually going to rain again here in a couple hours. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the dirt directly on top of this salt. It said to pack it down in the holes. Pretty sure I did that by piling it on top so much. I said dirt, but what I actually have here is horse manure that's about 3 years old. And it's lost all the smell. It's basically a really rich soil right now, but it was manure. Should have plenty of nitrogen. Now, if you're watching this video immediately after it publishes, there's no follow-up or results. But if this video is more than 3 months old, you're gonna see me back out here. I'll put links on the screen to a follow-up video where I come back out here and check to see how much this rotted in that period of time or how soft it is. And then we dig out the other stump and do a time comparison, how much time I spent on it and how long it took to fully get rid of it and which method I like better. Anyway, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. Think about subscribing. I'll put links on the screen to more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.